Artists exist to push the boundaries of what is acceptable, of what we consider to be art. Artists who enter Glenstone's collection have changed the conversation or shifted the paradigm of art history.
Iconoclasts is an exhibition that's pulling out the ways that artists have kind of pushed against the traditions that have come before them. Iconoclast speaks to the way that Glenstone collects.
We decided to focus on works of art from the 20th century. Not just iconic works, but ones that have really influenced the way generations of artists continue to practice their work.
The 20th century was a time of experimentation, questioning.
The exhibition spans about 100 years of art history. And the organizing principle was the chronology. It goes from abstract expressionism to the Gotye movement through pop.
Part of the mission is to identify these kind of turning points in art history. The artworks that are included exemplify those shifts.
Wonderful, well done.
Iconoclasts is an incredible opportunity to dig into the vault.
I feel like this is a testament to the collection that we didn't know which incredible paintings we should include. It actually became a matter of like, how do we choose? On one hand, it's daunting because it's so broad, and on the other hand, it's incredibly generous. We start with these lists, with these artists, with these objects, and then that turns into this physical model. And that's where it kind of began to cohere or coalesce into specific gallery spaces.
But anytime you install a show, it's not real until the work is taken out of the crate and put on the wall.
The experience of walking into the building, the first thing you see at a distance will be the Hilma of Klint Tree of Knowledge series. It was made early in the 20th century, and it kind of complicates the ideas and narratives of abstraction because she precedes a lot of folks who were considered to be the forefathers. It feels like a nice way to enter into the exhibition and understand the through line that will continue throughout the show.
I think the 20th century is complicated. There's incredible advances.
In the exhibition, you'll see the rise of technology and artists' access to new materials. In the early to mid 60s, plastic was beginning to become ubiquitous.
Somebody like Namjoon Paik, who's obsessed with advances in technology, and a lot of people sort of see him as this visionary.
The fact that he was able to create this robot, he was a prophet in some ways. He foresaw the rise of the internet, the ways that we use technology in our everyday lives. Because we're spanning 100 years, the demands are so different across these galleries.
Bruce Nauman's Good Boy, Bad Boy from 1986, 1987 is one of his major neon pieces.
It feels reminiscent of a conjugation chart or something quite straightforward and linear, but then you actually look at the words and it's pushing back against that sterile museum environment and what you expect to see.
It's a 13 by 10 foot sculpture. It has 4 panels, requires a lot of power, a lot of engineering, and a lot of intentional spatial design.
It was built in the US and then it lived in Europe for a long time, and a lot of it got retrofitted for European voltage and the European electric system. So that's been a big challenge. More or less reverse engineering because it didn't come with any type of manuals or any type of instructions. I spent so long trying to figure out how it was all supposed to work that once we finally got it fully illuminated, just to kind of stand and behold it, the colors are so vibrant and beautiful.
Bruce Nauman is using these tools and materials of advertising or industry that weren't traditionally thought of as the tools and materials of an artist, changing the way that we think about artistic production today.
Glenstone, you're going to see artworks that challenge you. Oftentimes, these objects are not revealing themselves immediately to you as artwork. One of the most rewarding things for me is watching visitors move through the program and start to make that connection with, I no longer trust what I'm seeing.
This is The Untitled Closet by Robert Gober from 1989. And it's an artwork that gets put into the wall. It's meant to look like a tenement closet from New York. And so it's crooked, it's got 100 layers of paint on it, it's dirty inside. It's not supposed to be perfect. We're actually taking the closet and putting it into the wall and kind of building the wall around it. We actually have specific nails that we talked with the artist about what kind of nails they should be. I really like the idea of just kind of stumbling upon this closet.
The idea of conceptualism and the artist defining what is art, even being able to bring an object that existed in the world before and sign it and call that art.
Art history isn't linear. There were many things happening simultaneously around the world. It's a matrix. I think of it almost like a constellation. As abstract expressionism is happening in New York, there were other movements running parallel that, at least from a Western perspective, maybe we don't give enough recognition to. For example, things happening in Brazil, or the Gutai movement in Japan.
By putting these works in the same room, you understand that so many people are arriving at the same point in various parts of the world, through various different routes. And in the same way that Asawa was visiting Mexico and Yves Klein was visiting Japan, like all of these are overlapping movements. It's not as if these things are happening in a vacuum. I think one of my favorite things about the show is that we're highlighting all of those overlaps. And it also feels exciting to bring in new voices or counterpoints almost.
For example, pairing somebody like Alexander Calder with somebody like Bill Traylor, a self-taught artist from the American South, making work at the same time. Their work, I think, visually has a lot of resonance with one another.
Somehow you have Bill Traylor using the same shade of blue that Alexander Calder was using. It wasn't until we actually hung the show that we even realized how many of these works speak to one another across time, across space.
It didn't actually happen until we were installing that there was a decision made to conclude the show with the Felix Gonzalez Torres piece, Untitled Perfect Lovers. I think of these two clocks as really beautiful punctuation to the show. And you could argue to the 20th century. You place the battery in them at the same time, and just by the nature of the mechanism, they slowly go out of sync. In the 20th century and beyond, part of the challenge is thinking critically about time, thinking critically about the past. Thinking about the past is a way to talk about what we're doing today.